So the last viewer we're going to take a look at is the CAD viewer. This one is actually a lot more powerful than the 2D viewer and the 3D viewer. And we're only going to show you an introduction to this viewer. Because of the additional functionality, we're actually going to create a separate guide focusing just on the CAD viewer for Connect, or the Trimble Connect CAD viewer. So to open that up, or open up a drawing and work with it in the CAD viewer, you go to your project, go to Explore, click the checkbox, and then instead of viewing it as a 3D viewer or 2D viewer, we're going to use the CAD viewer. You'll notice that that opens up a separate tab and will load your drawing into basically a CAD environment. So what you have here is a very simple CAD type program. So very similar to Trimble Business Center or an Autodesk AutoCAD product, you're going to have that CAD functionality to be able to edit and manipulate some of the objects within this particular, or in a particular drawing. There is when you first open it up, you're in the viewer mode, and you'll see up top here you can switch over to edit. These palettes over here let you really navigate around. So you've got your panning, your zooming, your orbiting, your switching your 3D view. You can get entity properties. So if I was to select that and pick on an object here, then it's going to show you the properties panel as this line, what color it is, what type, it's a layer it's on the center line, and the other, line type, thickness, and so on. You can see over here on the right, there's layers, and these are all collapsible windows. Down below, you've got your model tab. If I was to click on this, you can see I can switch to a layout tab. So if you're familiar with AutoCAD, they have a model environment, which you're drawing at 1:1, and then you've got your layout tabs for printing and plotting. There's some other tools here, like snaps. So if I shift right click, you can see that I bring up this menu where I can snap to like the center of an object or the midpoint of an object. You've got different toggles down here, toggling on a grid, and I can toggle that off. I can toggle the line weight on and off, and then you've got your snaps as well, and then you can see your coordinates down below also. Now there's some measure tools, some inquiry tools here. So I can come in here and I can measure distance, area by point, or coordinates. So very similar to what I was showing you in the 3D, but this is a lot more precise. This is actually like working in CAD. So if I was to use distance and I wanted to go, you can see I'm snapping to the end point of that, and I'm coming over to here. It's actually going to give me a window that tells me what that distance is, and the angle in the XY plane, and so on and so forth. So a lot more data that's available. Now, what's neat about this is that it actually is a CAD program. So if you go up to the right, you can see edit. I can click on edit, and now I'm in an editing mode. Now that I'm in an editing mode, I get this command window down here, which you can move around. If you want to move it out of the way, I can move it over here, and you'll see that now I've got some additional tools. So I can essentially start drawing. I can draw lines and arcs and circles. I can put in hatch patterns, rectangles, different types of rectangles, how they're drawn, 3 points. You can dimension, and you can add text, and then here you can modify. So there's some modify capabilities of like copying and mirroring and rotating scale, so on and so forth. So again, really a CAD program, so we could spend an awful lot of time just talking about drawing in CAD. So if you're familiar with Business Center or other AutoCAD products, this is going to be very similar to you, or MicroStation as well, right? Those are CAD-based applications. There is a help option. If you come up here, you can see you can go to the CAD viewer documentation and get more information on that. But we're going to actually do a separate guide that drills into, really drawing objects within this CAD viewer. But if you just want to make some simple edits, you can come in here, and you can see here I can pick on this hatch pattern and actually delete it. So I just use my delete key to select it and delete it. So if I want to kind of get rid of some of this data, these hatch patterns I don't need, I can just really select them and delete them. This one here is a block. So let's see if we select that block and right click on it. We can copy it. We can rotate it, scale. We can deselect all. If you hit escape, it will cancel. So if I select that and I hit escape, it deselects the object as well. So I can come in here, if we pick on that and I right click, again, I get these objects to move. So if I was to pick here, move, I pick a point and I can move that object, maybe over here. But a lot of CAD capabilities. I can come in here and I can look at it. If I switch to the 3D orbiter, I can do a free orbit and rotate this view around. So depending on how I want to set it up, and we'll hit escape. And then we might want to a zoom extents to figure out where it went. And bring it back. So a lot of different functionality you can use in this CAD viewer. Like I said, we're gonna look at it in more depth. Here's you got grip editing as well. That's kind of neat. So like if you wanted to quickly edit this, I can just grab that grip and I can move that object over here and change its location. So I'm just stretching this object as I move it around. If I delete that, I can delete the whole thing. Control Z is undo, which will undo it and bring it back. So you got some ability to really manipulate a CAD file with the CAD viewer, giving you more functionality than just the 3D viewer and the 2D viewer.